If you are curious about the different types of orgasm and more specifically about the cervical orgasms, this video is for you because we are going to take a deep dive into what they are, how you can get there, and really demystify those cervical orgasms because, hey, they are real and you can get there. So I am Céline Remy, the Intimacy Angel.
And I'm Kevin Anthony, the Truth Warrior. And if you've never heard of a cervical orgasm, like my friend said to me yesterday, then make sure that you like, share, and subscribe because you need to know.
Alright, so first let's start with a little bit of a disclaimer that not every woman is built the same and not every woman likes the same things. Some women will absolutely love cervical orgasms and having stimulation, especially a penis on their cervix, while others will not want it at all. And then there are other women who are a combination of both at different times of their cycle. What you need to know and understand is that the cervix, which is located deep inside the vagina, tends to change position during the cycle, whether or not she is fertile. So sometimes it's higher up and sometimes it's lower. Also, when a woman gets aroused, a process called tenting, which means that everything kind of like gets pulled up, happens inside of the vagina. And when that happens, it changes the shape. And so if she is more engorged, aroused, the tenting has happened, she will most likely be more receptive to having cervical touch or penetration.
So the reason why that's important is because, guys, if you think that you're going to give her a cervical orgasm all the time, just keep that in mind. Its shape and its position are going to change, which means that sometimes she will be able to, sometimes she won't be able to, sometimes she'll want to, and sometimes she really won't want to.
So let's talk a little bit about logistics, because when you think about the cervix, you might be thinking, well, it only works for like big guys and I'm not that big, so it won't really work for me, I can't reach there. Well, what you need to know is that for most women, it is located anywhere between 3 to 5 inches from the entrance. So you really don't need to have a massive dick to reach it.
And just keep in mind that the average penis size is 5 inches. So the average person can hit the deepest that it would have to go. And, you know, if you happen to be smaller than the average and you happen to be with a woman who is deeper, say, than the average, then maybe that's not a good fit, but just find somebody that is a good fit.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about how they feel, because they are different. A clitoral orgasm feels different than a G-spot orgasm or a cervical orgasm. While there are components that are similar to all of them, because an orgasm is an orgasm, the intensity, the emotionality, the sensations vary depending on the location. So when it comes to cervical orgasms, they tend to be deeper. They feel very grounding, but also earth-shattering and very heart-opening. And one of the reasons for that is because in the Taoist reflexology, they link that the cervix equals the heart space in that reflexology. So what that means is that there is a connection between the heart and the cervix, but it also means that in order to get to this type of orgasms, and you need to be able to let go of any of the emotional barriers and also to stick with the intensity. There is an intensity that comes with the cervical orgasms. And sometimes we just want to pull, we're like, oh, this is too much. It likes slow. It does not like to be poked. So just going at it and poking at it for most women is not going to be the way to stimulate it in a way that feels so yummy.
Yeah, and this is an important tip for men, which is that, I can feel when I'm hitting your cervix. Some men can, some men can't, but if you feel like you are actually hitting her cervix, that's not the time to do deep, hard, pounding sex. She is most likely not going to like that. There might be a few women out there going, yeah, I love that. You're the outliers. Most women will not enjoy that intense pounding on their cervix. So if you can feel that, then make sure that you go a little bit lighter. If you're not sure, ask her. She'll tell you if you're hitting her cervix. She knows for sure.
She does. And then there comes a point where we may want that deeper stimulation, but it's not the one to start with. Something that works wonder are circles. So she can either use her own hips to circle like this, or you can circle your own hips depending on what position you're in. But the idea is, rather than like poking so hard at it, you go around. And something to that works is to open up and relax the jaw and make some sounds and allowing the body to move. There is something about allowing yourself to surrender into this deeper experience. And it's not something that can be rushed. It's not something that is as quickly as explosive as a clitoral orgasm. It's something that will require a little bit more time. And you do have to stimulate the cervix in order to have a cervical orgasm, okay? So you still have to be deep enough and surrounding it enough to have that cervical experience.
Really?
Yes.
You have to stimulate the cervix to have a cervical orgasm?
I know,
Weird.
who would have thought, right? Ultimately, every woman is a little bit different, so it's all coming down to how much do you know yourself, how much do you know your body, how can you guide your partner. It's important to listen. If there is pain and discomfort, you want to address that first. You want to go lighter, you want to do any of the emotional work to release any of the stuff that are in the way. And you also want to be okay to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, with it's a very vulnerable states to open up to it. So it's not something you're going to do with anyone or like with a one night stand. It requires some trust and some patience in order to get there. So you need to have like the right partner, whether it's yourself or somebody else. But they are real, they are possible, they feel different, and it's important to give yourself a chance to explore without pushing it and be ready to ride this crazy wave and get your heartbeat totally fucked open. We hope that this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.